Mm-hmm.
Hey friends, I am here with Mr. Levy, who is a professional photographer, because this week's topic is all about photography. So hopefully you got a chance to look at some of the other videos about taking photographs of your pets or kind of a video diary where you can document photos of what you do in a single day and how to do that. In this video demonstration, Mr. Levy's going to help me out by teaching you guys how to do a time-lapse video either on your iPad or if you have a phone. Also, I want to say, Mr. Levy, a lot of the videos that we do take place in his photography studio in Littleton, and he is known, and we have this book at our Carlisle School Library. This is Mr. Levy's book called The Black Dogs Project, and some of you are familiar with it. So his big focus is pet photography, and so that is another option for you this week to take some great photos of your pets. But now we're going to talk about time-lapse. So,
Time-lapse photography. It's a fun way of making interesting videos over taking a long period of time and condensing it into a short period of time. You've already done stuff with doing stop motion animation. And it's the same kind of idea, except the difference is stop motion you can start and stop to build up the piece, where time lapse is the documentation of time and just compressing that. And there's a couple ways of doing that. You can either videotape for a long duration and then shrink that video up, or you can actually use photographs and take one photograph after another in a sequence of either from like 1 second to 30 seconds and take lots of pictures over time. The way that works is a normal video has 30 frames in it for every 1 second. If you take one video with one frame every second and you turn that into a time lapse, for every 30 seconds you get 1 second of video, if that makes sense. So every minute you get 2 seconds. There's a couple ways of doing that. You can use a smartphone as long as it's got a little camera. That's our old dog Toby. Yay, Toby.
Hey, Toby.
You can also use an iPad.
Also has a camera.
Or
camera.
As long as it has a camera, more than likely, if it's not an Apple phone, if it's a Samsung or something else, it probably has some piece of software in it that you can use to be able to record video. If you can record video, you can make a time lapse. And most of the times, phones and tablets actually have the software in it. You can even just download iMovie onto the smartphone or onto your iPad and be able to edit the video. So one thing that you can do is, once you're in the little movie app, there I am. See, there's me.
Is that the iMovie app?
Mr. Levy, Mrs. Levy, Mr. Levy, Mrs. Levy, Mr. Levy. Oh, sorry. Okay, so there is different options. Usually by default it's set for photos, right? But there is different options. One is video, one is slow-mo, which is the opposite of time-lapse, where it's shooting lots of frames within a second instead of a few frames. But there is a time-lapse option right there.
And that's under the photos.
Right, it's in the photos app.
Photos on your phone. Yeah.
Right. And
same with the iPad would be under the Photos app, correct?
Right.
Okay.
And the real big trick is to keep the camera steady, or the phone. You can do horizontal. Ideally, you should do horizontal, and don't shoot vertically, because your TV that's mounted on the wall is always mounted this way. Your TV on your house is never mounted this way. So you think about making these things for TV, and then if you use it on a phone, you can also see it this way. But you need a little tripod. It doesn't have to be big.
But some students don't have tripods, Mr. Levy.
That's true. If you have something that's, or just something that you can use to
prop
it up. Because the trick is you really don't want this thing to move, right?
But isn't it supposed to be this way?
It is supposed to be that way. That's true. But I was running out of space, so okay, I'll do that. Yeah, so you want it to be propped up somehow. So you can either
prop it up high,
prop it up low. You want
prop something behind it,
right?
Yeah.
And the trick is you want to make sure that it's a nice composition, whatever you're looking at. A lot of times when people are shooting, I'm going to come back to us because our beautiful faces. When you are shooting something, a very popular thing to do is to videotape clouds. You can videotape sunsets, sunrises, your little brother or sister sleeping, and the drool coming out, or your parents if they're like sleeping on the couch. Like I'm usually at night, I'm falling asleep on the couch. You just point a camera and just let the timer run. The thing about the app on the iPhone is it's always going to make a 30-second video. Whether you're shooting time lapse for 5 minutes or an hour, it's going to compress it down to 30 seconds. So be aware of that. Try not to shoot too long. If you did like a 15-minute or a 30-minute video, I think that's a good time to shoot. You don't want to have it going all day because it'll kill your battery probably.
Yeah, so 15 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's the longest time you probably would want to shoot the video. I have some examples of different things.
We'll post them.
That we'll put into this video and you can see what they are. And we'll do one with the phone so you can actually see it. You can also even just use a computer. Anything that's got a camera,
Anything
more
with
than
a
likely
camera.
you have the opportunity to shoot time lapse. The advantage of shooting something to actually as time lapse versus speeding up video is you get better motion. So if let's say the trees are swaying, or it's at night and you want to get like the star trails or something like that, it'd be harder with this type of camera, but with other cameras, if you really get into it. But yeah, go out, take your either a smartphone or your iPad or some kind of tablet. If it's got a camera, then you can go out and
prop it up
and make sure it stays stable and compose your picture first. So whatever you want it to look at, and make it look nice so everything fits in the frame properly. And then just hit record. Come back 15 minutes later, hit stop, and take a look. See what you get. If you don't like it, maybe change it around. Try something different. Do some tests. Try it out. Do like a 5-minute test first, see how it looks, and then you can do it longer and see if you like it more. So test and try and test again. How's that?
That's good. And then can they upload the videos, the time-lapse videos, to Google Classroom? Is there a way of doing that?
The best thing to do is do what Mrs. Levy's doing and put it onto YouTube. You can put it onto the Google Classroom, but it's easier to work with YouTube. You can make it private and then invite Mrs. Levy to be able to see it. But overall, it should be able to go up on any kind of social media, but you are going to need to post it up onto a service, whether it's YouTube or Google Classroom or
So Google Classroom they can.
Yeah.
Okay,
or
yeah.
like share it as an attachment. You can't put it as an attachment in an email. It's going to be too big of a file versus a regular picture.
Yeah, so try it through Google Classroom and we'll see how it goes. Or during our art share, there could be a way you can share it with the class on.
Yeah, they could share this.
Yeah, on Thursday you can share the screen. Yeah, so we'll figure it out. But why don't you have fun with this? Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And like I said, if you don't want to do the time lapse, try doing some of the other activities, the photo journaling, documenting your day, documenting your pets, things like that. Pets are good.
Pets are good.
We love them. All right.
I will give you extra credit if you do pets.
Extra credit.
Because
that's how he rolls. All right, kiddos. Yep. So hope you have a good week, and I will talk to you on Thursday.